So for some of you who've been following me for quite a while, you might remember that last year I tried to do a one item a month kind of purchase strategy for my wardrobe, I guess you could call it. Though this seemed like a really interesting way to approach shopping for my capsule wardrobe, and I thought it would be easy. I thought it'd be really easy to just, invest a little bit more time and energy and maybe money into one item a month and introduced items into my wardrobe really slowly in that way. It worked for about 5 or 6 months, and then I just felt a little spendy, and maybe it's because we changed to a new season, but from May onwards things kind of got a little bit spendy, to the point where I did a no buy in November, and then I kind of went back to, I bought like maybe 1 or 2 items in December as well. So for this video I want to talk through my plan for 2023 for how I'm going to approach this. I don't want to set anything too strict to myself that basically it'll be like I either achieved it or I didn't achieve it. I want it to be a little bit more flexible, but sticking along the same lines, something that will still kind of rein in my shopping habits a little bit and rein in any impulse shopping basically, but won't be so kind of black and white, like did I fail or did I succeed? And I'm also just going to talk through like my goals for my wardrobe and my style as well a little bit towards the end of the video. So for 2023, my main rule is no impulse shopping. This kind of approach I feel is a little bit more workable for me, and for anyone who feels like a low buy or a no buy is too restrictive for them, or if they end up feeling guilty by the end of a low buy or a no buy because they feel like they've bought too much stuff. So I feel like no impulse shopping is a great way to work this, because it means if things pop up that have been on your wish list, that have been on your mind for a while, and they pop up either in the sales or you see it right in front of you in a charity shop, or when you're thrift shopping, or just when you're shopping in general. If you've already bought something that month, you don't have to be like, oh, I can't buy this because it's not in my one item a month. And this goes especially for when you find something you really, really wanted for ages, it's in the sale, and you're like, oh, but if I buy this, I'm failing because I'm on a low buy or a no buy. So with the idea of impulse shopping or no impulse shopping, if it's on my wish list, it's not an impulse purchase. If it's something that I've intended to add to my wardrobe for a while and I've really thought about it, it's not an impulse purchase. So I've kind of already planned it through, so I can buy it if I want to. I do feel like this will still rein in my shopping a little bit. It'll start me kind of scrolling on Vinted, seeing something that's like bright and shiny and colourful, and I'm like, oh, I want it, if I've not really thought about it at all or how it would work in my wardrobe. And I think if things like that do pop up, I can always save it to a wish list, plan it into my wardrobe, see how I could outfit it with other things in my closet, and then a couple of days or maybe a couple of weeks later, I can revisit it and see if I want it then. So I can have those things that I didn't realize I wanted, but just wait maybe like a month or so to see if I still want it. And if I lose that particular piece on Vinted, I can just search for something similar. So my next point is to keep a wish list, and this is kind of what's going to go hand in hand with my no impulse shopping kind of habit. So these two habits are vital to kind of go together, because how will I know if it's impulsive or not if I don't have a wish list of things? I could convince myself that it's been on my mind for a while, because I like to convince myself that I need things that I don't. So if I have it written down somewhere and I have a wish list tracked, then I'll be able to check if it is or not. Speaking of tracking, that is my third plan for the year, is to track all my purchases, track what I spend on them, track where I bought them, if they were new or secondhand, track if it was on my kind of wish list or if I feel like it was slightly impulsive, just so that I can obviously keep track of all of these different goals of mine, so that I can go to the end of the year and be like, I think I've achieved what I set out to achieve, like 90% or something. 100% is never the goal. 90% would be a great achievement. That's the thing. If you try and achieve something 100% and you already feel like going into it, you're like, oh, this is going to be hard, then you're just setting yourself up for failure. Try and find a more adaptable or a more kind of easygoing approach if you're the kind of person who needs something like that. Some people work really well with a no buy or a low buy because they just love rules and routines, and they like to be strict to themselves and they're good at it and they've got good self-control. I'm not one of those people. So this isn't to say I want to buy a load of stuff this year. I do want to follow a low buy as much as possible, but what that means isn't really set in stone. for me. It's not a certain number of items, it's just because I'm sticking to a wish list and I've hopefully considered these things, I'm going to know before I get to purchase them whether it's something that actually works for me or not. And the chances are there's only going to be a certain amount of items that I can really keep on my wish list and keep revisiting and be like, yes, I still want it. Yes, I still want it a month later, 3 months later, 6 months later. And then that is going to be how I kind of manage my low buy a little bit. The next thing I want to focus on is sticking to my style colors. So yes, I'm wearing black today and I already feel like it washes me out a little bit, but I want to stick to my really light neutral colors, like my beiges, camels, creams, whites, those kinds of colors. I absolutely love wearing them. I love wearing like a head to toe neutral, like light neutral outfit. It makes me feel so chic, so put together. I feel like when I wear things like that, it really like brightens me up, as opposed to when I wear things like black or darker colors and it just kind of like feels a bit heavier, I guess. So I'm wearing this jumper with a pair of white jeans, which kind of balances out when you can see my outfit overall, but just kind of close to my face, you can't really tell. And if I didn't have makeup on, it would probably make me look a little bit more washed out. I still love black. It's still a great color. It's so versatile. I love this jumper as well. Never want to get rid of it, but just kind of angling more towards my light neutrals and maybe a little bit of that like dusky rose brown that I'm kind of into lately. And then in summer I quite like, you know, a bit of khaki and olive, those kind of tones, real like earthy tones. I think that's what works best for me in my wardrobe, and that those earthy tones go really well with those lighter neutrals. I really would like to try a one in, one out. It basically means you buy an item, you get rid of one that's already in your wardrobe. And I think this is a kind of a good way just to kind of keep up with decluttering a little bit, because if it's something you're willing to just take out in exchange for something else, then one, it means you really want that new item, and two, it means that you didn't really want the thing in your wardrobe in the first place. And this can be handy when you're replacing items. So instead of buying something to replace an item and then keeping both of them, you have to make sure that you get rid of that other one, whether it's kind of worn out or there's just something about it that you obviously needed to replace. So instead of hoarding all those items, it's, you know, one in, one out. And likewise, if you have something that's kind of similar, so it's like maybe a jumper that you kind of like and you wear a lot, but it's not 100% what you want. When you buy something that is that 100% you want, or at least a bit more than your current item, you can get rid of that other item and replace it with this. So it doesn't have to be the exact same item you're replacing it with, but you're replacing it with something very similar. So far I have done a one in, one out. I bought a brown dress in January, brown ruche dress, and I got rid of a brown knitted dress that I've had for a little while that I really just never wear. I also do have a bit of a list of things that I want to replace in my wardrobe. For instance, black crew neck cashmere jumper, a cream or kind of like stony beige coloured crew neck cashmere jumper, and my cream alpaca crew neck from Everlane as well. Those things they've worn out, they could have shrunk a little bit, especially the cashmere jumpers, and the sleeves are just a little bit too short for my liking. I've had them for years. Like my black one I've had probably like 5 or 6 years, and my cream one I've had maybe 3. So my Everlane jumper, I got blue paint on it, so that definitely needs to be replaced because it's a big blob at the back of it. I do wear it a little bit as like when I'm working from home, so no one else can see that there's paint on it, but I would like to be able to wear it out and about again. So that's something that I definitely need to replace. But these are just things, again, that I've added onto my wish list. I've kind of have a list of things on my phone already, either to replace or that I would like to add into my closet. So that's what I'm going to be working from. So as part of my kind of style and my wardrobe plan going forward, I always keep a Pinterest board. So I'm going to just like insert a little kind of video reel of my, I think it's called 2023 style reset or something like that. Always just trying to elevate my style that little bit more. So I think number one is to stick with those really light neutral tones, light and kind of like warmer neutrals as well, more like creams and browns and beiges, things like that. Additionally, add in that little bit of like rose brown. I think I have one item in that color at the minute. I wouldn't mind, maybe like a jumper or something like that. And I've also written down, because I'm working from my notes, to use accessories to elevate as well. So I love my jewellery to elevate. These hoops I don't wear all that often. These little pearl ones are so nice, but I usually have some gold hoops and a gold necklace. Sometimes I wear some rings. I haven't really worn them every day for a long time, But I do like to wear rings. Even just having my nails done is kind of like an accessory. I've painted these myself. I'm getting them done shellac tomorrow, so they'll look nicer for longer, because I feel like that's a real thing that makes me feel amazing, because your hands you can see really up close. When I have my jewellery and my makeup done, I can't see that all day long, but I can see my nails, and if they're not looking good, it doesn't make me feel good. You know, I'm constantly working with my hands, whether that's editing or typing or drawing or whatever, so constantly looking at my hands, and if they're not good, then it's not a good vibe. I also want to wear cuter shoes, so I feel like the most basic outfit can be dressed up with the cutest shoes. I like the idea of wearing some maybe like little kitten heels or something like that, a little bit maybe like a pointed toe, 90s kind of vibe. I think that would just look so great with just like a basic jumper and a pair of jeans, and like that is so my style to a T. So I feel like if I could get over the hump of trying to, you know, always wear comfortable shoes all the time, like obviously I want to wear comfortable shoes, but I can go out of my comfort zone a little bit to wear like a little kitten heel or something that's just going to elevate my look a little bit more. And I do have a pair of knee-high boots with a bit of a heel as well that I actually find quite comfortable, so that's potentially something else I can wear when it's still winter. The next thing that's really important to me is to dress like my best self. So one day recently I was going to work, I think it was just a Tuesday, just a random Tuesday, and I decided to wear my full-on leopard print suit, and everyone was like, oh, you're so dressed up. But I was like, you know, I want to put my best self forward. I don't want to wait until I am her to dress like her. You have to fake it till you make it, or feel it till you kind of see it in your reality, and that's the best way to manifest, is to kind of live as if right now. So I'm going to dress as if I already am my best self, and then I will become that. One, because people start to see you differently and treat you differently. If they, you know, if I've had an experience where I was in an internship and I wore a suit into work, and someone asked me, oh, where's the intern? And I was like, that's me. So they didn't expect me to be the intern because I was wearing a suit. So that people treat you differently. It's said that you're more likely to get a pay rise if you ask for it while you're wearing a suit, or like while you're dressed the part. If you go in like jeans and jumper, people don't take you as seriously, and it's not a conscious thing, it's just very subconscious, very unintentional, but it's there. So if you want a pay rise, start wearing suits to work, start wearing a little bit of tailoring, and then kind of, yeah, go for it in a suit. Dressing like your best self obviously does not mean you have to wear a suit all the time. It's just one example, but whatever you want to be, if you want to put yourself forward as just someone who's really successful, really takes care of herself, really on it, and just always put together, just start dressing like that now. Even if you're an intern, even if you're a student, even if you have no job, you know, it doesn't cost anything to dress like that. It's just all about how you put yourself together rather than what exactly you're wearing. So some of the kind of vibes that I want in my wardrobe, I've written down classic, which is a huge part of my style. Feminine, I like the idea of having a little bit of an injection of femininity in my closet as well. I think having those little kitten heels would kind of add that, and that's what would add to that kind of like jeans and jumper vibe, or just even wearing a heel feels a little bit more feminine. I wrote down sophisticated as well, you know, could be wearing a suit, could be wearing just like a smart blazer with some jeans, just kind of getting that little bit of a balance, even on the weekends, just to like elevate a little bit. And then I also wrote down the clean girl vibe, because I'm really into that. It's like super laid back. It kind of reminds me of that off-duty model kind of vibe, like super effortless, but this is like in a really healthy way, like a healthy kind of effortless, really clean, really put together, you know, nice natural makeup, clean, fresh, but like taking care of hair. A really simple outfit, but you're just paying attention to those little details as well. Maybe you're wearing a tiny bit of jewellery to kind of add a little bit of detail, things like that. And lastly, I also want to build up my knitwear collection, because that is something I wear all year round, and it is probably like the core of my wardrobe, except that I don't have the biggest knitwear collection, so I'm constantly re-wearing the same thing. So in order to change up my outfits a little bit, you know, to maybe add in an extra cardigan or two into the mix, something really cozy, maybe just like a different colour of cardigan, or something that will kind of just adds an element of difference to my outfits. And that's pretty much it. That's my plan for the next year. Like I said, I'm going to be tracking this, so I'll be able to sit down in a year's time and come back and kind of review and see how I did, and I'll definitely let you know. This is something I'll also be kind of sharing a little bit more on Instagram as we go through the year, whether it's on stories or reels or whatever. So if you're not following already on Instagram, you can find me at Gemma A. McLean. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, I would love for you to do so, especially if you want to follow me along on this journey of dressing like my best self and just leveling up my style. If that's something you want to do, then I can definitely share some inspiration. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon in my next one.